Every object that is obtained and catalogued by the authority has a series of designations attributed to them. The reason behind this is that most objects don't behave similarly, and thus need these classifications to assist researchers in properly dealing with them and being able to rapidly and efficiently explain the level of danger they represent. There are 7 containment ratings and 6 lethality ratings that accompany them. A containment rating determines an object's difficulty of containment. Some objects are easier to contain than others, however. This does not mean that such objects are any less dangerous or lethal. It's completely possible for an object to be incredibly easy to contain and yet have world-ending capabilities. The same is true for the opposite. It is also possible for an object to be extremely difficult to contain and yet be completely benign in nature. An object's lethality rating is simply tied to the object's potential ability to cause destruction and end life. An object class is an object's containment rating and lethality rating put together. For example, an object with an Omega containment rating and a Black lethality rating would have an object class of Omega Black. These are the most common containment ratings used in RPC articles, and make up the bulk of the objects. Alpha-rated RPCs are objects that are easily and safely contained. This is often due to the fact that the authority has researched the object and its anomalous nature well enough that containment does not require significant resources, or that the object requires a specific and conscious activation or trigger to become dangerous. Rating an RPC as alpha, however, does not mean that handling or activating it does not pose a threat. Beta-rated RPCs are objects that require more resources to contain completely or whose containment isn't always reliable. Usually this is because the object is insufficiently understood or inherently unpredictable. Beta is the containment rating with the greatest scope, and it's usually a safe bet that an RPC will be in this rating if it doesn't easily fall into any of the other standard containment rating. As a note, any RPC that is autonomous, sentient and/or sapient is generally rated as beta, due to the inherent unpredictability of an object that can act or think on its own. Gamma-rated RPCs are objects that are exceedingly difficult to contain consistently or reliably, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. The authority often cannot contain these objects well due to not having a solid understanding of the anomalies involved, or lacking the technology to properly contain or counter them. A gamma containment rating does not imply that the object is dangerous, just that it is simply very difficult or costly to contain. These are specialized containment ratings that are used for certain unusual or exotic RPCs. Neutralized RPCs are objects that are fully understood, exhibit no more anomalous properties, or have been destroyed. Neutralized RPCs pose no danger to the authority. Theta-rated RPCs are objects used by the authority for the purpose of aiding its efforts in containment and protection. Omega-rated RPCs are the most difficult objects to reliably contain, or are uncontainable and represent a dire threat to the normalcy of the world. This doesn't mean they are dangerous, but are simply the hardest to keep secret due to their scope, resilience, or some other aspect of their nature. Special object classes that can only be researched with expressed permission. Epsilon-rated RPCs are objects that behave above our current perception. As such, there are aspects of their behaviors that cannot be contained or even observed. Any object that deals with interdimensional anomalies is automatically classified as epsilon. An RPC's lethality rating is based on its potential ability to cause destruction and end life. This rating is represented by its color. White-rated RPCs denote an object that has no chance of being lethal and/or is entirely beneficial. Yellow-rated RPCs denote an object with easily avoidable and/or situational lethal conditions. Orange-rated RPCs denote an object that is capable of lethality but not guaranteed to display it. Red-rated RPCs denote an object that is both actively lethal and aggressive to other life forms and/or individuals. Purple-rated RPCs denote an object capable of exterminating life en masse or entire populations. Black-rated RPCs denote an object that is lethal enough to cause an apocalyptic scenario and/or end all life. Now that you have learned the different object classes, you can now safely classify the various RPCs you encounter in the field. Just a reminder that any misclassification will lead to termination. Thank you for tuning in, and I will meet you again in the next report.